Hi you guys, oh my gosh, it's cut my head off. Great, hang on, can you see me now? Okay, now you can see me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're all well. Today I'm coming at you with a quick haul video. There's only about 6 or 7 books in this haul video, but I did just want to film it and show you guys what I've been picking up recently. And I also wanted to do a little tiny minute or two of a life update at the beginning of the video, just to explain where I've been and why I haven't really been uploading regularly. Obviously in the summer, you guys, if you've watched my videos from kind of September time, you will know that I was involved in quite a serious car accident in the summer. And obviously I've been recovering from that. As you can see, I now have my arm out of its brace and stuff, so I'm able to use it again, which is wonderful. But I basically spent all of September just trying to kind of mentally and physically continue to recover from that. Work has been insane. I've just been very, very burnt out, and it hasn't really given me a lot of chance to sit and film. I've basically, when my weekends have rolled around, I've just needed to sleep. And that's pretty much all I've done. I've just slept and read things, but I haven't really had the mental or physical energy to sit down and film. My Wi-Fi is also still incredibly slow, and because I'm working in the way that I'm working right now, I haven't had much opportunity to get out of the house and go somewhere with better Wi-Fi to upload. So that has also been a factor in my videos just not being quite as consistent as I would have liked. But I'm here today. Hi. It's nearly Christmas. It's Christmas next week, so I wanted to get this video filmed and a few others, and over the Christmas period where I'm not working quite so much, I'll be able to use my terribly slow Wi-Fi to upload without it affecting my work, hopefully. So that is where I've been basically, but I just wanted to say, hey, apologies for not being quite as present as I would have liked to have been. I'm going to be switching some things up hopefully in January, so that will make it a lot easier for me to be able to film and upload more consistently, which is great. And I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm still here. I'm just a little slower than I would like to have been, but I'm still here, and that is the most important thing. Anyway, onto the haul, which is where you guys would have clicked on this video to begin with. I've just got back from my last visit to the States for the year, and as you guys know, I travel out to the States to visit loved ones a few times a year. I went for the summer this year, and I have obviously just been for a couple of weeks just to see everybody before Christmas. Every time I go to the US, I always have to go to Barnes & Noble at least twice, and we'll typically come back with a small pile of books, which is what I've done here. So I thought I'd show you guys what I picked up from Barnes & Noble, because it is my favourite place on earth, literally. My absolute, this is like my Disney. This is like just, it's the happiest place on earth for me. Anyway, the first book I picked up I have actually already read, so I'm going to give you guys a little brief review on it, I guess, as well, and that is Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. This is my first Tessa Bailey novel. I obviously first heard about her this summer when everyone was going crazy for It Happened Last Summer, is that what it's called? Or It Happened This Summer, which coincidentally I have put on my Christmas list, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe somebody will get me that for Christmas. But I picked this one up in Barnes & Noble, not realising this is actually the 3rd book in a like companion series. So I've read this as a standalone, and it was fine as a standalone, but I do think it would work better if you picked up the books before it, because this is an enemies to lovers romance featuring Wes and Bethany. Bethany is a member of a family who is kind of like really big in their hometown for flipping houses. So her brother works in the construction side of things and she works in the staging side of things, and she basically, she's a total perfectionist, and she just decides one day that she really wants to try and go it alone. So she decides to buy a house and flip it herself without her brother's help or her family's help. And then a local like a TV show get wind of what's happening, and they decide to basically do this reality show where they pit her against her brother in this like contest to see who will flip the best house. And within that we meet the character Wes, because he goes onto Bethany's team, and it's this whole like enemies to lovers kind of vibe. Now I struggled with this to begin with because I couldn't work out why they were enemies, and it was like nothing was really getting explained. And then when I went on Goodreads after I finished it, I figured out that actually you learn why they're enemies in like the 2nd book or something. So that's why I've said that this one perhaps doesn't work quite as well as a standalone. That said, I still gave this 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. At first not so much, and I was a bit let down, but when I got into the second half of the book, I think I really started to vibe with the characters. It was just a very cutesy, feel-good, rom-com-y type of read. The smut was nice. It was just, it was good. It was a good time. It was a wholesome time. I needed it. And there was actually little bits in this story which reminded me of a situation that one of my best friends is going through right now, and it was just very heartwarming and very sweet, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So that is Tools of Engagement. Like I said, pick it up as a standalone if you like, but just bear in mind that you won't really get the whole reason behind Bethany and Wes's enemy vibes if you start here. And I believe if you start with the second book, you learn more about them. The other books in the series are Fix Her Up and Love Her or Lose Her, and I fully intend on picking those up as well because I did really enjoy this one. So the rest of these books obviously I have not yet read, and I actually, bar one of them, actually no, bar two of them, I was deliberately going to pick all 4 of these up. So when I went to the US I had these books in mind because I kind of didn't want to go crazy this time, so I went kind of crazy in the summer and bought a lot of books. So I was thinking to myself, okay, let's, you know, just get the ones that you actually really want. So there's 4 here that I really wanted, 2 that I picked up on a whim, and then also picked Tools of Engagement up on a whim as well. So I'll talk about the whims first. The next one is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. Now this one obviously does the rounds every December, and I've been yet to pick it up. Last year I was convinced I actually had this on my Kindle and I was planning on reading it, and then it wasn't on my Kindle, and I kind of didn't want to buy it, you know, because I was thinking like, it's just like, it's a holiday book, like I don't really want to buy it right now. I didn't have Kindle Unlimited at the time, so I didn't get it. This year I've got it because I just really want next week, right before Christmas, to just sink into like a feel-good holiday romance. So this is about a girl called Maylin, and I think from what I've heard online, she goes to like a cabin, and then on her way back she ends up kind of just like reliving this same like weekend in this cabin over and over and over again. And I think she like meets somebody. Yes, it's just kind of like a feel-good holiday romance, and I'm assuming she'll probably have to revisit the same cabin over and over and over again until she meets Mr. Right, and then perhaps life will just continue from that point. That's kind of my prediction anyway. I could be very wrong, but loads of people like this one, and I'm just in the mood for a feel-good like holiday romance right before Christmas to really get me in the festive spirit. Next up I have The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl. And this one was all over Barnes & Noble, and I couldn't resist picking it up. And this is like a YA dark academia / like mystery thriller, and it is about a group of girls who lose their best friend at school. Like, her death's ruled as a suicide, but they don't believe it's a suicide. And then this new girl appears, and they begin to kind of unravel everything together, and it turns out that their friend was not the first dead girl at Grimrose Academy. So like I say, I think it's going to be like a dark academia type vibe. It does say here that they soon learn that all the past murders are connected to an ancient fairy tale curses, and that their own fates are tied to the stories, dooming the girls to brutal and gruesome endings unless they can break the cycle for good. So this has given me some seriously like fun vibes. I'm really excited to get stuck into this one. I actually nearly picked it up on my first visit to Barnes & Noble, and then I put it down at the last minute, was trying to be good, thought about it non-stop. So then the second visit I was like, no, it's coming home with me, and I'm very excited to read this one. Okay, next up we have King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. So she is the author that wrote the Hades and Persephone retellings, which I have down here, A Touch of Darkness, and this is her, I believe, her latest release, and this is a traditional published book rather than a self-published. So I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm just excited to delve more into this author's work because I really enjoyed A Touch of Darkness. No, I said A Dark Shade of Magic then. But this book basically follows Isolde, who is forced to marry the vampire king Adrian. But secretly she's also been kind of groomed to kill him, so she goes in to make this grand assassination attempt, but this assassination attempt gets thwarted at the last minute, and she then has to basically live her life with Adrian. He says that if she tries to kill him again, he's going to raise her as a vampire, so she's obviously has this threat of becoming a vampire looming over her head, which is the last thing that she wants. So she kind of makes peace with the fact that she's going to have to stay married to this dude, and then discovers that she's actually really attracted to him. But then it turns out there's this like big secret, because of course there is, and I don't know what that secret is yet because I've not read the book, but it sounds really great. And I saw a few people on Instagram who'd had the arc talking about how good this was and how excited they were for it actually to finally be released. So this one I'm thinking of maybe saving for between Christmas and New Year. I kind of feel like I want to get stuck into like a vampire fantasy romance again. I might even save this for January actually. I really like to start January off with some strong reads that I'm really excited about, so just kind of get me in the mood for the year. So this could very well be my first pick of 2022. But I also am obsessed with that cover. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. I'm so excited to delve in and get reading. I keep thinking that I have like my nose is dripping because it's so cold, but it's not, it's just the light. So in case you're wondering the same thing, it's just the light, baby. It's just the light. Next up, I have a funny one, and I swore I was never going to read this book. I was so determined to never pick it up because it sounded so ridiculous, and then I saw it in Barnes & Noble in the summer and I didn't get it, and then I haven't stopped thinking about it, so this time I got it. That's Ice Planet Barbarians. If you haven't heard about this book, I'm guessing that's probably because you've not been on Booktok this summer. This is apparently a sci-fi romance series. This is obviously the first in the series, and this woman gets abducted by aliens, and on the way to their planet they have ship trouble, so their human cargo, just including her and all the other women that got abducted, gets dumped on this ice planet, where she bumps into this big blue alien guy who claims that she is her mate. She is his mate, and she thinks that she's trapped there. And that's as much as I've got from the synopsis. Apparently this is like next level smutty. I don't know how I feel about the idea of alien smut, to be honest. Like I feel like maybe this is just me delving into new depths of depravity, should we say? No, that sounds like I'm being judgmental, and I'm actually not. I think it's just a load of fun. But this is certainly going to be testing my preconceived ideas of what I find attractive and a turn on, for sure. I'm a little bit nervous to delve into this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but maybe this can have a full review of its own. Who knows? Either way, I'm excited, quite frankly terrified, and just very, very curious about this book. So, Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Okay. And then we have another one that I've heard a lot about on Booktok and also on Booktube, and that is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. I'm kind of super obsessed with this cover. I actually thought I wanted the other cover at first, and I'm really glad I got this one. It also feels very satisfying. Smells satisfying too. So this, I think, is kind of a Shakespeare retelling, I believe. It's like, it is definitely a dark academia. There's a murder, it's set in a school, it's like a group of students. I think they're theatre students. Yeah, okay, sorry, I was just reading the back of it then. So this is like a retrospective kind of story. So the main character is somebody who was, I think, arrested for a murder 10 years ago, and when he gets out of jail he's then having to go back and explain kind of like what happened. And it's involves a group of Shakespearean actors at a university, and it says here Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue and extra. So I am very excited for this one. Like I say, I've heard incredible things. I've seen people's copies of this just like annotated to hell, and I'm like, yes, that is what I want from this. I want like a dark academia that gives me the same kind of secret history vibes. I want to be like, I don't know, I just want to delve into a world of like leather-bound books and darkness, and you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm really excited by this one. So yeah, I think this might be a January read for me as well, depending on how January goes. I really want to be able to absorb and really enjoy the books I'm reading next year, and I know that obviously the way that I'm working right now, that can kind of make it a little bit harder. So I'm trying to kind of save the books that I'm most excited for when my work situation changes a little bit, because I'm wanting to, yeah, be able to give them like my full attention and my full enjoyment, you know. Anyway, the last book is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Now, I know obviously this is out in the UK as well in hardback, but I just really wanted to get the US edition because honestly, like, I hate the UK cover, and I know that probably sounds super superficial, but it's just not the one for me. Whereas this, I think, is beautiful, and I love the spine being in this beautiful rose gold. Also, it was 50% off, so I'm not going to argue with that. Now, from what I understand, this was supposed to be kind of like a whole separate series from the Caraval series. However, I've seen people online saying that if you've not read Caraval and you want to wait and read this afterwards, because there are some mild spoilers for what goes on in the Caraval trilogy. Now, I absolutely adore Caraval so much, so I've been really excited for this to come out, because I actually found the characters of the Fates some of the most interesting characters in that series. And I know that this is to do with one of the Fates. I can't remember which one. The Prince of Hearts. There we go. The Prince of Hearts. And it basically just says, how far would you go for happily ever after? I'm just honestly so excited for this. Like, I've deliberately kind of kept away from the synopsis and from any reviews and stuff because I just want to go into this pretty blind, just because I loved this universe that Stephanie Garber's created so much, and I just didn't want to get spoiled. I didn't want to have any expectations going into it. I just wanted to fling myself back in, reabsorb myself, and just really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm keeping the description of this one really short and sweet because I honestly don't really have a clue, aside from the fact that it's about the Prince of Hearts, who was one of my favourite characters in Caraval. So yeah, that is all of the books I picked up in the US. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it is a short one. There is no doubt in my mind that I'll probably be doing another haul in January, because when people asked me what I wanted for Christmas this year, all I said was either books or book vouchers. So I'm assuming there will be a few books under the tree for me hopefully this year, so I'll be able to show you guys those after Christmas. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you've read any of these books, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Obviously keep them spoiler free for myself and for everybody else who hasn't read them yet, but please do let me know your thoughts. And if you think there are any books that I will like based upon these choices, again, let me know. I'm really keen to get your guys' suggestions on books that you think I should read, or videos that you want to see me make around books that you think I should read. So let me know, and I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, weekend, wherever you are, whatever you're doing while you're watching this. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.